Good morning, everyone. Just getting done at the gym here, so I'm wearing my unprofessional hat. Yes, I had a little bit of a really high roller chiropractor tell me that a while ago, that I don't look like a real doctor because I wear a silly hat. So anyway, just want to get that out of the way. I was thinking about a story that happened yesterday, and this reinforces a concept that is so true. This is good for new doctors out there, but also existing, long-time practicing chiropractors. Okay, I'm just gonna hold this like this. All right, is that the more you can be disconnected or unattached to the outcome, the better you're going to communicate, the better you're going to convey, the more that a patient is really going to see the sincerity in what you do. And so what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. I'll tell you the story. So yesterday I had this patient. She's a nicer older lady, but she's really not, I wouldn't call her a sweeter older lady, because she's really not all that sweet. And I have a lot of older patients, and my mom and dad are a little bit older in age. My dad's gonna turn 81 here in a couple weeks. Well, in a week, next week. So I definitely understand dealing with people who are a little bit older. I don't really consider my parents that old because they're both, looking youthful, and they've been in good health and not really had a whole lot of issues their whole life. Unlike most standard, 70, 80-year-olds that we see in practice. But anyway, so I see this lady. She comes in, she has all these different issues, this pain, she's hyperkyphotic, and she wants to talk about how every single doctor she's gone to screws up her Medicare, because she has a insurance that's the primary and Medicare is the secondary, and it's never like that. And literally in 16 years of practice, just a side note, Medicare is usually always the primary, and then whatever insurance they have is a secondary, and doesn't pick up much of anything because Medicare is awful with chiropractic. But she wanted to tell us how it's reversed. Our billing department figured this out. However, on the phone when she called and she said, "Do you guys bill Medicare?" We said yes. She somehow thought that was a misleading answer, and she wanted to spend yesterday during her x-ray report of findings telling me how we misled her. Okay, so now this is after we did an excellent workup on the first day. We took x-ray of her spine. We went through and analyzed it. I studied her x-rays. We marked up all of her x-rays as far as Gonstead protocols, CBP protocols. We had everything ready to go through with her. So it takes a lot of time to do a workup like this. She's hyperkyphotic. She has like a 75-degree thoracic curve. We can very likely help her and reduce that curve and get her more upright. She has chronic pain because she can't get into thoracic extension because she's stuck in flexion. Anyway, so she wanted to talk about her insurance while I'm talking about clinical stuff, and I had to interrupt her a couple of times yesterday, and it was like, this is like a clinic of communication with someone who wants to cut you off and doesn't want to stay on track. And I finally got to the point, after being very nice with her, I said, because she kept talking about how she was misled and this and that. I said, "Ma'am, listen, we can stop this appointment right now, give you a full refund for everything you've paid, and you can go on your way. Is that what you like?" And she said, "No." And then she stopped. And then she kind of started back up again. And I had to say, "Ma'am, listen, in this room, this is where we talk clinical. This is where we take care of you clinically. I am the doctor. I'm not the person who's going to sit here and explain health insurance." Okay? And so this is the last time I want to say this back here, because there's a lot to talk about with what's going on with your care. Would you like me to continue? Yes. So anyway, in my mind, like, what percentage of me from a thinking, okay, this is going to be kind of a pain in the butt person to deal with, this is going to take a lot of time and energy, it's going to frustrate my staff, how much of me do you think wanted to say, let's quote unquote convince this person to do care? Or how attached do you think I was to like trying to, coerce her to do care, like some of these different practice management groups and chiropractors out there that have all these like shiny, hey, come in and we'll give you like, a free set of steak knives and you get 5 adjustments and 12 x-rays and 3 lasers, and it costs you $14. It's like, that's not how we've ever operated with this lady right there. We're not operating like that. And it was quite the opposite. I was basically like making it very clear, look, this is our expertise, this is what we do. Either you want to know more of what we do or you don't. And she said, no, I want to know more. And she was so concerned with the money part, which I can totally understand, because the elderly population, a lot of times they unfortunately don't plan things very well. I've seen this a lot. It's sad. They don't plan things well, and they have zero money as they get older, and they rely on Social Security to keep them afloat. Which, on a side note too, and please don't take me wrong here, I'm not trying to be judgmental or a jerk, but it's like, some people didn't plan things properly in their life. I know everyone has their situation. Some people it's unavoidable, but geez, I mean, I just think about how hard some of the people I know work right now, and how they actually are investing and saving and building a future. And then you see some of these people that think that when they get older, they can have like zero money to take care of themselves. And that's when their health starts to decline, because they didn't take care of their health either. That's when they need to have a investment, a surplus of something to be able to take care of themselves when something goes down, right? So anyway, and that's like a bigger problem that we can do a different Facebook Live on. I feel bad for them, it's sad for them, but I hear that so often. Then you have some of these elderly patients that they planned it right. They have money in the bank, and they're like, I don't care what it takes. I want to enjoy my life, my years, or I have family that's going to support me. You got some people that are on their own, and it's sad that they didn't, things didn't pan out. They didn't plan accordingly, whatever it is. I'm not being judgmental, but anyway, in her case, she was very concerned about the money. So normally I handle that, and I talk about that, and I try to address that in the room very briefly, because I don't want to be talking about insurance and money, but I also want to get that objection out. So if I need to handle it, I can handle it, because I can handle that better than any of my staff. And my staff is awesome. They're terrific at it, but I can typically handle it just a little bit better. And in her case, I was like, hopefully she just decides this is not the right place for her, because I can tell she's just going to really be a huge headache for everyone. And so I told her to go talk to our billing manager. Our billing manager explained it to her and told her how, she has this insurance, that's her primary. She has like a $3,000 deductible, and she'd have to meet that. Basically telling her, like, if you want to do care, you got to meet $3,000 first. And I thought that would scare her away, or maybe coerce her to not seek care with us, and maybe get her to understand that this is not a fit for her. Which, hey, if it's not a fit, I want to figure that out right away. And a side note, I know there's, like, all of us as chiropractors, we want to help everyone, we want to take care of everyone, but everyone is not a candidate for what we do. And there's certain people who are just not a fit for the way that we practice. And if someone's not going to be on board and responsible and accept responsibility, they're not a great patient for us. They're going to be that 10% of the patient population that gets 90% of the attention, as far as negative attention, where your staff is complaining and they're demotivated. They look at them on the schedule, oh, that person's coming in today. So anyway, like, the writing was on the wall. And so here's what happened. I was so unattached from the process. I was so just black and white, clinical. Here's what's going on. Here's what it takes. What do you want to do? She went and talked with our billing manager. She's like, yep, I want to come in. I don't care what it costs. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to do it. And we'll see. I'm seeing her today for her third visit, which is where we go through the clinical care plan, which I touched on yesterday, the financial portion, all of that. We'll see. But as a conclusion, just from that discussion, I was just thinking, man, those situations, it's so funny how it works, but those situations where you are so unattached from the process, meaning you care about people, but you don't care what they do. It's not your responsibility. Their health is their responsibility. And sometimes you can even tell them that. It's their responsibility. And it's their decision. They have to make their own life decision. All we do as a doctor is we say our job is to report what we found, give you our opinion on what could possibly happen if you did option A, B, or C. And option C might be do nothing. And then that's it. And then it's on you. You make your own decision. You are a grown-up. I'm not telling you what to do. And that is the way that we always operate. But I'll tell you, on those patients that you kind of get a little excited because you can, like, see that they're maybe a more exceptional patient, they exercise, they do all this other stuff. Like, on the flip side, I had this other patient a couple weeks ago. It seemed like he'd be a really good fit for what we do. He exercises, works out, he wants to be healthy, he wants to eat healthy, all of this. And I probably wasn't as unattached from the process when I was explaining care and things with him. And so then he gets the idea of like, they want me to be a patient here, you know, almost like pompous a little bit. And so what did he do? He, on the next appointment, we sat down, went through everything. I think I'd like to get a second opinion. Okay. You know what that means? And what I said to him, I said, what is it about what I just went through with you that you don't trust? Because that's what that means. When someone gets a second opinion, they're saying, I don't trust you. I want to go see someone else. Any way you cut it, that's it. Okay? And you could say, well, it's not that they don't trust you, it's just someone else might have a different level of expertise or this or that. Look, in what we do, no one else here has the level of expertise that we do combining the three systems that we do. No one else is going to give them any sort of insight that is like mind-blowing as far as curve correction, improving functional movement patterns, and improving segmental joint health, right? No one's going to do that. That's a market we own. We've put that together, and we make that pretty clear in how we present this. The vast majority of our patients fall into the category of they want what we have to offer. It's very seamless, and it's a very comfortable process. I'm sharing some of the outliers, some of the maybe 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, because probably about 8 out of 10 of our patients that come in, they fall right into line and say, yeah, this makes sense, this is what I want to do, and then they do it. And then you have 1 to 2 out of 10 that have these different kind of situations like this. But anyway, the moral of the story, care about your patients, love what you do, but be unattached from the process. And be able to show that you are unattached from the process. Do not be, trying to push a patient to do something. Present the information, make it very clear that you are unattached. They will see that, they will feel that, and that will typically make them want to be drawn to it more. Versus the opposite, you seem needy and you seem, oh, I need new patients. I need this person to start so I can hit these stats or these goals that I have in our clinic this week. People can pick up on that. Some of the busiest times I've ever had in practice is when you're so busy. You get busier. It's like a magnet. And it's because patients can sense, wow, this place is busy. It's like walking into a restaurant that's busy. You're like, I know it's gonna take a little bit longer, but all these people are here. It must be really good food. People automatically want to be where there's more people, most people, and they're drawn to that. It's this it's like the herd mentality thing, but that's where like waiting a little bit longer or a little bit noisier, a little bit something, you're more forgiving because it's such a just magnetic environment. Now granted, there's some people, like maybe you who are watching this right now, maybe you're saying, well, that's not me. I don't like going to a crowded restaurant. I don't like that. You're the 1 out of 10, maybe the 2 out of 10. Most people are drawn to that. And my recommendation would be, do not try to appeal to the 1 out of 10, appeal to the 9 out of 10. So today, when you talk to your patients, love them, care about them, but be unattached. And if you want to see more info on how we put all this stuff together with really good clinical corrective exercise and practice, go to movealluniversity.com. I put the link in the subject line above. Just click on it, check it out. We updated some cool stuff on the site. You'll love it. Talk soon.